We are thick into the listen along. We've got more episodes coming. I dive into a little bit more of the production process, and we've got a great question to answer. All this and more in TABTA, but first we'll stop and take a brief moment to give a message to our heroes of Edera. Hey there, this is Colin, creator of the 7th Valkyrie. If you're hearing this, it means you're listening to the public version of TABTA. And I really appreciate that. It keeps the algorithm happy. It keeps us growing. But if you want to get a little fun personal message every week with behind-the-scenes stories, funny little bits, other insight into the creative process, you can hop over to our Patreon and become a hero of Edera. You'll support the series, you can shape the future of the 7th Valkyrie, and find a whole lot of fun bonus content along the way. You can get started completely for free, and then if you decide you want to chip in and get bonus content, early access, and a whole lot more and help us along the path of heroes towards a whole lot of cool checkpoints, then you can do that. It's patreon.com/7th Valkyrie, that's 7THVALKYRIE, and give it a look. With that, on into the show. Hey, everybody, and welcome to TABTA, the adventure behind the adventure for the 7th Valkyrie, where we watch one series go from total obscurity to maybe 7 seasons in a movie, or maybe we just find the power of friendship along the way. I'm your host, Colin Sharp, creator and current voice of the 7th Valkyrie, and it's great to have you listening. Let's get into first a quick overview of all the episodes coming up. On Wednesday, today obviously we have TABTA. Wednesday we have the reimagining of Season 0, Chapter 5, The City of the Setting Sun, which will be dropping for everybody then. Heroes, you've got this already. And then on Friday, we'll have the accompanying episode of the 7th V Listen Along, where we'll be breaking down this completely transformed version of the chapter and taking a look at the series as we make our way towards Season 3. So that's what you've got coming up this week if you're a public listener. And again, heroes, you guys have got all of that ahead of schedule. And speaking of schedule, let's talk about the 7th V production and business. Right now, I'm working with Zoran to finalize the last few episodes of Season 0, hopefully getting those out to heroes so he and I can start revamping Season 1. I'll slide in with the listen along of all those to make sure everyone can enjoy this epic adventure every week as we're reliving it. And in between and all the little gaps all the way, I'm fleshing out the structure and meat of the middle of Season 3. This is an area that I'm going really hard right now. I've gotten sort of locked in on the elements, the pieces that I want to introduce, the areas that they come to a head, sort of the points we're getting to enjoy along the way. To give you guys a little insight into the process, I've got all the chapters laid out in terms of like what happens in point A, point B, up to point 37, 38, 39, etc. So I know where the characters are going to be, what major points are going to happen in each chapter, when, what's happening. And then I'm about halfway through the process of fleshing that out, where I kind of trace in more details how those moments are going to affect the characters, how that shapes the actions surrounding our key checkpoints, because, sometimes I'll find out that, like, oh, shit, wait, this character would not have stood for this, so I got to kind of adjust some things and change or add a reaction or blah, 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 letting the characters be true to themselves. And this kind of overall gives us a chance to connect all the dots and, take all the little points of what happens in each chapter and kind of flesh it out and make sure that it becomes the backbone of a really, of the flow of all the character journeys that go through the season. And this whole process sort of happens in waves. Each pass on the front, as I'm adding more detail to the chapters, affects the details on the back, because, sometimes you need to lay some groundwork or it changes how you understand what a character was doing earlier. But with each pass, we're getting closer to having the full treatment of the season that I usually do, where I've got basically a pretty in-depth executive summary of each chapter, and then I use that to kind of tweak into the details and start writing. Anyway, that's a little insight, but that's what's going on, and I hope to, keep you guys updated as I'm moving through. Right now, I think I'm maybe, like I said, halfway done with really making it robust. Yeah. As for what's going on with me in my personal life and behind the scenes, I'm back in Costa Rica working my little rumpus off, trying to move businesses in the right direction. That means gym, consultancy, that means 7th V. But I'm also finding some time during the weekends to just kick back and enjoy being here during what I think is the most beautiful time of year. It's gorgeous, it's cool, my pool's even a little chilly when I go for a morning dip. The ocean is calm, and I've been keeping an eye out every morning to catch some of the whales that sometimes migrate through the bay. I don't actually want to catch them, I just want to see them, but yeah, you gotta get. Anyway, and my partner's coming to visit later this week, but I could talk about them for forever, so I won't, and maybe I'll talk more about it once we're having our fun adventures. Because we've got the Q&A to get through, and this one comes from our hero, Silly Wumpus, who asks, what do the main characters do in their spare time? It's a good question. For main characters, you didn't specify which. I'm going to guess you're counting Val, Meridia, Cyrus, BC, and possibly even Krona. So I'll count those 5 because that seems like a good amount to answer. Before season 0, Val typically liked to read, cook, and spend time with his dogs during late afternoons and evenings, in addition to his hunting. Now he doesn't consider any time spare time. Meridia is sort of similar in that regard, where she doesn't consider any moment of the day to be spare time, but she definitely enjoys the camaraderie of her crassa at the bar on the nights off, or jawing around with people during rest periods on the training ground, if people are willing to engage. Cyrus, prior to season 0, we really don't know yet what he used to do for fun, but currently, when he's not running for his life, he's really enjoying observing the world for himself with his senses, or hearing stories from people who live in Edera and trying to experience all the new things that are here to be experienced. BC in her spare time is typically getting fucked up or laying the groundwork for the next time she's getting fucked up. Whether that means buying more drugs, buying food, setting up events, etc. And Krona, as we've seen in chilling detail, enjoys a combination of the finest food and liquors, along with psychological torment and the occasional brutal murder. Sorry to be ending that on a rough note, but I mean, you asked, and he's one of the main people in the story, or at least has a lot of influence. Anyway, leaving that behind, if you've got a question for me that you'd like to hear answered, leave a comment and I'll check before next week. In the meantime, stay tuned for upcoming releases, Wednesday and Friday for public, and Mondays for TABTA, with the hero versions already available. And I'll be sending you guys a lot of love and keeping you updated on the journey. Ciao.